quick one-liners from our buddy Dave. Says, I once farted in an elevator. It was wrong on so many levels. I asked God for a bike, but I know that God doesn't work that way. So I stole a bike and I asked for forgiveness.
That's better. Right.
And finally, how do you seduce a fat chick? Piece of cake.
Hey, it usually works.
This is a classic. David writes, this old guy goes to the doctor. Doctor says, your test results came back, and I'm afraid I have some bad news. You have cancer, and you have Alzheimer's. Old guy says, well, that ain't so bad. At least you don't have cancer. Todd writes, a guy is in his therapist's office. He enters the room, and he remains standing by the door. He says, Doc, I'm here because my wife treats me like a dog. The shrink says, all right, well, come on over here and sit down and we'll talk some more about the problem. The guy says, I can't. I'm not allowed on the sofa. HJY, hi.
Good morning, something, DJ?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
What's the difference between ooh and ah?
What is the difference between ooh and ah?
About an inch.
Guy's on a business flight from here to LA. He does it every week. He's very bored. He's sitting there. And a gorgeous girl comes walking down the aisle. He's like, oh, please, let her sit next to me. Sure enough, says, excuse me, sir, that's my seat by the window. She goes, she sits down. She immediately picks up a book. And the title of the book is The Sexuality of Man. So he's like, wow, that must be a great book, She's like, oh, it is. It's all about the sexuality of man. Like, for instance, did you know the Native Americans, they have the longest one? And he's like, no. And the Portuguese, they have the fattest. He's like, oh, really? Well, let me introduce myself. My name's
Tonto Santos. This week's winning joke on Stump the DJ from Wolf, who writes, never suggest to a dominatrix that it's time to hit the sack.
Cole and Al, mornings on 94 HJY.